Today I wanted to talk to you about social media and the kinds of things that we're expected to do if we want to grow our following. Welcome back to Pencils and Stories. My name is Henrike and I make and teach comics. If you want to make your own comics as well, stay tuned for more videos. Lately I've been seeing this sentiment online a lot. People are really frustrated with platforms like Instagram that are jumping on the trend of reels and videos and basically trying to be more like TikTok. And then there's a discussion about, do we as artists want to become content creators, or do we want to play by the rules of these platforms in order to grow our following, to have people see our art, see our comic updates, and move over maybe to Webtoon or to our websites to read our comics? Let me first say that I totally understand this sentiment. You probably got into art because you love drawing, you love to make pictures, you love to make stories, you love to write. And then you're supposed to make videos. And this applies to every single thing that every platform is going to do in the future as well. Right now, video is the latest fad, and they're really trying to cash on the success of TikTok. You see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook, and Twitter has experimented with video a lot. I'm not necessarily sure how much they prioritize video right now. They do have other kinds of features, like they tried to jump on the whole Apple Clubhouse thing. So now you see all of these conversations happening on Twitter. So it really depends on the platform, but basically the gist is the same. Platforms will experiment with new things and they will push those new features of the platform, making it more prominent in the feed and drowning out maybe other sorts of mediums like pictures and photos. I do understand the resistance to that. And now I have to kind of perform a little trick in order to grow my following. I can totally understand that that is not what you joined the platform for, and that is what gets you frustrated. But I just wanted to give you something to think about. And if you do art as a hobby and everything, like you do art on your terms, you can do whatever you want. But for the people for who this is a job, and for the people who are trying to grow a readership for their comic, or want to get, publishing eyeballs, or, clients' eyeballs on their work, this is something to think about. Because if you are, for example, let's take Instagram, because Instagram is the thing that I see people talk about the most right now. If you take Instagram, they push reels like nothing other. Like I've posted a few reels, and I don't necessarily know if that number of views, if that is people whose feed it appeared into, or people who actually watched a few seconds of my reel. But the numbers are really high. And I've never in like a year, or maybe even multiple years, not reached that many accounts as I do with posting just a few reels. I'm not saying reels is like a magical thing. It all depends on who lands on your content. It might be that, for example, I have a reel that I think right now has 3,600 views. Like the majority, like 80% of those people might not be comic artists. It also really depends on what kind of reels you post, and Instagram kind of has to be trained in the algorithm to figure out what kind of people it should show your reel to. This is also why a lot of your followers might not see your reels, because Instagram's algorithm is trying to push things in their feed that Instagram thinks they like. So for example, if you're an artist and you love art stuff, but you click on a whole bunch of, viral animal reels, or, cute animal pics, Instagram might actually just push you the animal stuff. So it really depends on what other people are doing on the platform, and then what your content is, and how it's pushed in the algorithm to what kinds of people. I'm not an expert, but I think that is kind of how it works right now. I'm following some people on Instagram that work with the algorithm and stuff, and this is what they're saying right now. It might all change again. And that is my point with these platforms. They make the rules, and they can change up their algorithm every single time. That means that if you do not want to play by those new rules, and you do not want to do the things that they prioritize right now, that's obviously your choice. The problem is, if you use social media for your reach and for growing your audience and for getting those eyeballs from readers, clients, publishers, or whatever, you're leaving eyeballs on the table, or even money on the table. That's the point I wanted to give you, and that I would like you to think about is, what are your goals with social media? Is it just to post your pictures, and if people see them, it's fine? Totally okay. Absolutely okay. You might have to do some other things to really push, pictures to people. You have to actively invite your audience to engage with those pictures. You have to do more things like put them in your stories, putting stickers there, trying to get people to comment and to engage. Or, some people's art is just so good that they, if people land on their page, the chances of following are higher just because the quality of the art. Or Instagram has just really hit the jackpot and knows exactly what people to show that artwork to. Definitely don't use all of that data that you're gathering as a judgment on yourself, because you can be a really great artist, but if the algorithm is somehow not really trained yet to know what people to show it to, or you just have not been discovered in a certain way, then, it says nothing about you. There's so many factors contributing to if people see your art and what they do with it. There's so many factors. Just a cropping of your images might, contribute to that in some ways. So that's the point I wanted to make. Don't see it as a value judgment of your art. It takes time. It really takes time. Unless you're incredible and you join the platform, you might immediately attract followers, and it depends on if other people are sharing your art too and stuff. All I can say is try and find other ways. If you don't want to do, in this case, reels or video, try and find other ways to get eyeballs on your work. But it might be harder. And that's my point. If you're using your social media for growth, and that is one of your goals, and one of your goals for your art is to actually grow the audience around it, and is actually to get commissions and stuff like that. I'm not saying you have to, but it's smart. And if it feels too much like a trick, I would say try and find a way to do reels or video or whatever the new thing is going to be, to make it still feel authentic to you and your art. Because videos, just like every single piece of artwork, has a creative voice and a style, and you can choose that kind of style. You can see how you would like to make videos, what kinds of videos you would want to post. And that's the thing too that I would want to encourage you. If making videos is super overwhelming to you, keep it really simple. Just put your phone on a stand and just film yourself drawing something. You don't have to show your face. Definitely. There's a lot of videos that do really well without ever showing their people's faces. It's just people love seeing other people draw. At least other artists do. And, just find some music. It's in Reels, it's super easy to just find a nice piece of music, put it under there, and just, speed it up a little bit in an app, and you have a reel. And I watched a video the other day of a artist who is super successful in just doing those reels and just showing her process, just showing how she's sketching things, showing how she's painting things. And she says, I make a piece of artwork and I get 5 reels out of it. So you don't have to constantly think of new ideas too. Just do what you're already doing and just document it and use those videos. And don't expect to go viral. Don't stop chasing the whole viral thing. It doesn't matter. It will get a lot of people to your content, yes. So Instagram might push it a little bit more, but there's probably also a big majority of those people who are not your audience, and they will click a like one time and leave again. That's totally normal. I wouldn't chase that, but just a consistent, build up of audience and a build up of followers, and then of course engage with everybody who leaves a comment. It's very, very important, because if you engage with people on Instagram will show your stuff to them again. So it's really, really important to have that conversation. You could even send DMs to people to thank them. Maybe people are sharing your stuff, or just check out their profile and then send them DM and compliment them on their art. Because you have that conversation, it feels a little selfish and it feels a little forced. But first of all, you can have really, really great conversations. And I just try to be honest. I go to their profile. There's always something that I like, and just comment on that. If you have conversations with people on Instagram, the chances of you seeing each other's stuff gets way higher. So forget about all the engagement pods and all of that stuff. It doesn't work, but have genuine conversations with people on those platforms, and that does really, really well as well at this moment. Video isn't going away. I just want to tell you that it's only gonna get more and more and more, because the internet, just the whole internet has changed. Just think about how you use the internet. You probably watch a lot of videos as well. We take videos of everything now. You know, it's also proven by all kinds of studies that video just does really well. So these platforms are not going to move away from video. They really are not. I just wanted to give you this thought so you can think about it. You don't have to do video, but if your goal is to grow on social media, unfortunately, you have to play by their rules. You are not paying them, so they make the rules. And if you want to get their audience on your stuff, you have to play by their rules. And that might sound harsh to some of you, and if it's really against, you know, what you want your art to stand for, then don't do it. But for me, and I'm just going to be very personal right now, I want to build a business. I have a course that I know can help people finally make their comic. It's the course that I would have wanted 12 years ago. I want this course to be available to people. I want people to know that this course is here. So what do? I go on social media, and yes, I do play by their rules. I am looking at what's working, and then I do it. And you might say it's easier for you. You're used to doing video. I wasn't used to doing videos at all. This is something that can be learned. There's a lot that goes into video. It's keeping the attention of your viewer. It is presentation, having clear information. If it's all super overwhelming, just start with something simple. Like I said, just film yourself drawing, painting, making comics, whatever it is you do. And, you know, cut some pieces out there, put some music under it, and you have a reel. Don't make it complicated. Try and find a way of making video that fits your style, that fits what you want to do. If you want to explain things to people, just explain it. You can do it with a talking head video. You can do it just by showing, where people just only see your hands, and then you can explain things. You can make funny short skits if humor is something that you would like to explore. You can use only text. If you don't want your voice to be in the video, you can just use the text on screen. There's all kinds of ways that you can make videos. There's also apps that can do the voice for you. Having text-to-speech apps, those things can work really well for you if you don't want to talk. There's all kinds of ways that you can make video. And this applies to every single new feature that all the platforms are going to come up with in the future as well. If you absolutely don't want to do it, you're not forced to, but know that platforms and apps will always push new features that they come up with. Always. It's only logical. They probably put a lot of money and time and effort into that new feature, so they want people to use it. And they want people to stay on their platform. So they're always trying to find new things that will have the most engagement and keeps people on the platform the most. And it can be super helpful. I found really great art tips just by watching reels, just by watching people draw, just by watching reels of programs that I use like Clip Studio Paint or Procreate. You know, it can be really, really helpful. So don't dismiss it out of hand. If you really don't want to be a content creator, like I wouldn't call me an influencer either. Like I've seen these sentiments, it's like people want me to be an influencer. I'm like, no, they don't. They just want you to make videos. Like don't make it too complicated in your head is what I'm saying. That's all I wanted to say. I hope this is helpful and gives you something to think about. It's a practical note, something to think about for you. Figure out the goals for your project, for your artwork, for your comic. Figure out what you want it to do, where you want it to go. Then see what kind of platforms feel right for you, that fit your project, and that you think that you can work with in a way that works for you. And then see what is working on those platforms, what is doing really well. Try and see if you can find a way to also work with that. And then lastly, don't make it too complicated. Keep things really, really simple. You can always overcomplicate later. Experiment a bit and see how you like it. So that's all that I wanted to share with you today. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Share it with people who you feel like it might be helpful for. That always really helps me. If you want to see if making comics is something for you, I have a free checklist that takes you through the entire process of how to start a comic in only 20 minutes a day. You can get it at the link in the description below or go to pencilsandstories.com/extra. And for now, have a great day and make some comics.